When my daughter was quite a bit younger, I mean, she's still pretty young, but when she was younger than she is now, she was about 3 years old, I reckon. I had her one morning. I noticed that she was really moody, impatient, hot-headed, and stubborn. You know, she was kind of rebellious that morning, and it was very unlike her. All these things were very unlike her. I remember catching myself starting to get frustrated and upset with her. Like, this is, you know, I was thinking, this is absolutely not acceptable behavior from her part, on her part. But as I started to get frustrated and angry, I said, let me just think about this for a second. Let me just think about this. And what I remembered was that the night before, she had wanted to stay up and watch movies with me. And I had said yes. And now she was only about 3 years old, but I did allow her to stay up. I think it was till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, which is probably the, you know, the latest that she had ever been up in her life up to that point. Well, when I realized that, suddenly the light bulb clicked in my head, and I was able to put two and two together, and I realized this poor little girl stayed up later than she ever has in her entire life. And now she's operating on a great deficit of sleep, a great deficit of rest. She's not used to this. She didn't get enough sleep last night. Suddenly, when I realized, when I had put these two things together, and now I observed her being impatient and moody and kind of rebellious, it all made perfect sense. All that frustration that I had been feeling and that anger that was beginning just completely dissipated. That's what context did for me in that situation. It completely pulled the rug out from all the anger and frustration that I was beginning to feel. So context is very important in our dealings with people. You know, nowadays when I'm talking to so many different people from so many different backgrounds, I don't always get the best of people. You know, sometimes they're upset at me, or sometimes they misinterpret what I say. Sometimes they misinterpret my intentions. My ability to put those things into context allows me to stay calm most of the time. Now, I'm an imperfect person, so it's not like I'm some kind of Jedi, but I do this, I apply context, and it helps me stay very calm and to look at a thing non-offensively. In other words, I don't take it as a personal affront or as a personal offense or anything, especially if I can understand the context of where somebody's coming from. You know, think about doing this for people's culture. If you understand culturally where they're coming from when they're saying something to you, this might help you stay calm. If you know where they're coming from geographically, the attitudes in New England, for example, are a lot different than the attitudes in Tennessee that I'm used to, or West Virginia and Kentucky. They're just different. That can be confusing in the beginning. You know, if you move out, if you're from Appalachia and you move out to New England, for a while there, you just don't realize what's going on. And eventually it dawns on you, there's some miscommunication happening here, because these folks out here in New England, they just have different ideals that they're operating with than we do where I'm from. So anyway, I just wanted to bring up context. This can help you maintain your cool. It really can go a great long way in maintaining your cool. It can go a great long way in helping you be a more reasonable person. Because if you can put it into context and understand, oh well, that makes sense. Yes, I would probably be reacting that way too, or feeling that way. Were my perceptions and experiences in life similar to that? Think about it when you're talking to your wife or your husband. What type of day has he had? What sorts of pressures is he or she dealing with? Yesterday, he said he had a terrible headache and he didn't get very much sleep. Or she's got this big business meeting today that she's all stressed out about. Putting these things into context, then when the wife barks at you and it seems like it's totally uncalled for, well, maybe it wasn't as a direct result of anything you said or did, you know. And once you realize that, then you can feel compassion. Your knee-jerk reaction to bark back might fade away because you go, okay, there's more going on here than just her being angry at me. And then, you know, that it allows for a greater degree of empathy. Context, it's everything.